Well, ladies and gentlemen, since the last time you saw me, I have lost a significant amount of my net worth. And I'm sure a lot of other people have when it comes to investing, crypto, the stock market, things like that. This is crazy, guys. I'm going to give my full take and then we'll get into it. How does it affect everything? I think overall, me personally, this is kind of secondary because, this is a tough drop. But overall, we always recover. It is the time to invest right now. When there's so much fear, that's when you need to go in. And so personally, that's what I'll be doing, especially with crypto. But just in general, it is a scary thing what's happened. People saying, well, World War III, the Middle East, the tensions, what happened with Japan and their stock market, historic falls. We will go over all of it. Are we seriously headed to World War III with what's going on with some of the underlying metrics? I do think this is just one of those drops where everything came together perfect and you had 5 or 6 different things influence, and we're almost on the level. It's not this bad, but if you remember back to March of 2020, how crazy we fell at the absolute low, this is, in terms of indicators, almost that bad. It's not nearly as bad, but to me, I know there's always the meme like, oh, we'll be fine. World War III is never going to actually happen. But I think we're probably going to be fine in this situation. I mean, we literally just had 2 years ago, Russia, one of the superpowers, invade Ukraine, a smaller country, and we didn't have this big of a drop. You had Israel strike back against Palestine. I'm sure people remember that. And the market conditions were not great, but they weren't this bad. So I just think, to me, nothing is really adding up. I know there's stuff going on with Iran, Israel, possibly like an underground bunker getting it ready for potential war. But guys, let's just calm down. I'm not giving people financial advice, but I'm saying now when we look at the past drops, it is a good time to invest. I'm just saying, overall, though, the good news with this, if you want to say there is good news, not only, do you potentially get to add to your positions, but also this is going to destroy any momentum that Kamala Harris had. Thank God. I'm hoping we go back to the pre-Harris Biden levels where Trump potentially could win Minnesota, maybe win Virginia, maybe win New Mexico, maybe win New Jersey. Hopefully, a lot of these people that kind of switched over or were buying the Kamala Harris. I mean, this is just so ridiculous. We've got all the drops and all of the stocks historically bad. $2 trillion has been wiped out from the stock market as NASDAQ dropped 1,000 points. Officials say the NASDAQ has never been this low. So this is just remarkable stuff. And you can see 1,000-point drop. 1,000-point drop. Taiwan stock market crashes its worst day in 57 years. According to Bloomberg. Oh, no, you're right. Let's all just lose all of our money. Kamala's a brat. If we don't vote for her, we're racist. She's a minority female. Guys, if you don't vote for her, you're racist. You're racist. Lose all your money. Let the government pay for everything. You are racist if you don't. You're racist. She's a brat. I mean, you need to vote for her. I'm just so... But like, here's the other thing that's so crazy about it. Where is Biden? It's like we can't even expect Biden to come out and say anything. Number one, he's not mentally capable of doing it. And see, that's the whole charade where they have to switch Biden out, but they can't admit that he's mentally compromised. The reason that they can't admit that, I think it's a number of reasons. Number one, they still want to market Kamala as the first female president, which they wouldn't be able to do if Biden, was removed within the week or 2 weeks, because Kamala technically would already be the president, so they couldn't market that for the 2024 election like they're doing now. And number two, they would have to admit that they blatantly lied for years, at least months, that Biden's health was not there if they removed Biden right now. Biden is not mentally capable. He's not all there. He can't. I mean, they hide him from interviews, and now we've got all of these drops, and you would think, he's going to have to come out and say something. Well, honestly, guys, I don't even blame you if you think Kamala's the president right now, because it's like they've completely shadowed Biden to the point where a lot of people don't even view him as the president. They just think he's gone. And the last big thing Biden did is he walked on the plane, after it had deboarded. That's what Biden is known for recently. That's his last big political move. and he's the president. So he's going to come out. Remember, I think also he said he cured the economy that night. Yeah, he cured the economy. And guys, don't get it twisted. This is a double whammy. Remember the original narrative with the stock market being up and how we argued against that, saying it was because inflation since 2021, since Biden took office, was it was up like 23%. So now the double whammy comes. You've got the inflation, and I was already arguing the stock market is going to have minimal effect on middle class Americans. When you look at the middle class and, a family that maybe has a net income of $150K, if both parents are working, they're spending 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more on groceries, on their home than they are into their 401k. That's just the reality. So if groceries are up 20%, the fact that the stock market reaches a new record high and it's up 4% in the last 6 months, yeah, that's going to help billionaires, which I know we all know that liberals hate billionaires. You're helping billionaires. You're not helping the middle class. So now they don't even have the stock market argument. The stock market is tanked as well. So not only has the stock market tanked, you're still dealing with the inflation. And I'm sure they're going to be printing more money, as people have alluded. Robinhood just halted 24-hour trading. They've suspended all 24-hour trades until further notice. The Kamala crash is what it's what it's being called. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. I think that's what Trump called it, so Republicans are running with it. But at least this will stifle her momentum completely. They will be picking a VP. That'll probably come today. That party is so disgusting. Did you see what they made Josh Shapiro do? He literally denounced his support for Israel. God, it's just crazy. Breaking $2 trillion wiped out from stocks this morning due to fears of global recession. Look at the wall, the red wall of death. Apple down 7%, Nvidia down almost 12%, Amazon down 7.5%, Google down about 5%, Meta Facebook down 6.5% as well. I am not in the stock market, guys, but I am in crypto. So these numbers for me are not 7%, they're like 25%. We also do have, I'll go over that later. I cured the economy. That's what Biden said.
I cured the economy.
And you got to feel bad for him at this point. I mean, he's just so lost. I think Biden is just saying anything that comes to his head. I cured the economy. And then I think he says he also cured the environment. Did he also say, that's not how it works.
And the environment.
And the environment. I cured the economy. 5-second pause. And the environment. He cured the environment. The environment has been saved. Joe Biden is the antidote to the environment. So we have that. So guys, when it comes to this crash, I do think this is a typical situation. And again, I know it's kind of like a meme. Oh, nothing's ever going to happen. As long as we keep saying that, it's going to be true in terms of World War III. But we've dealt with 2 other scenarios that I deem as worse than this. Again, this is just me guessing. I have no clue. Maybe this ends up being really bad. It's really all of us guessing. When someone says World War III is coming, World War III this, World War III that, none of us know. World War III is going to happen when it happens. And it could be 10 years, it could be tomorrow, it could be 20 years, it could be 30 years. Yes, there's indicators, and right now we're at a very unstable place, as opposed to where we were 4, 5, 6, 7, a decade, about 10 years ago. Within that time frame, it's way more unstable now because there are multiple potential problems. The issue is if you get some type of huge Middle East war, that can be contained. The problem is if you also have Russia-Ukraine still fighting, and maybe Russia sees that there's more instability in the Middle East, they have a big offensive. They push deep into Ukrainian territory. It forces the United States and NATO to potentially have to give more money to Ukraine to try and defend itself. And then not only that, you also have the Pacific. You also have the problems with China and Taiwan, where China's trying to take over Taiwan, and we all know how unstable the border is between India and Pakistan as well. So if you get all of these smaller situations, it could create a bigger situation. And then what happens when somebody decides to invade a NATO country, probably a small European NATO country? It would probably be Russia. Would you do Article 5 and automatically go into World War III? That's why NATO might end up killing the world, not saving it, because of Article 5. Article 5 basically guarantees World War III. Not completely, but it becomes a big issue if you enact Article 5 and Russia has some type of military alliance with China, North Korea, Iran. So then you have Iran against it. I mean, it's just a complete mess. I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's just fear-mongering on what could happen. I think it's a good time to invest right now because, from what we know, whenever the market tanks this rapidly, it always recovers and overperforms to the point where it always makes a new all-time high. So that's what I would say. You can just judge off the past. I mean, this could be the one time where everything goes terribly, but I don't think it will be based off of the last two scenarios we've had, worldwide scenarios with Palestine and Israel. And we recovered off of that at least a little bit. It's only been about 3 months, but and then also you did have Russia and Ukraine, and the markets did recover off of that as well. So I would say people need to calm down. This is very, very bad what's going on for sure. But I will be investing more money personally. That's just my opinion. The good thing is, I guess, again, if you want to say there is a good thing, this will destroy Kamala Harris's momentum. Whether or not you think it's their fault, the problem is, again, you're dealing with a double whammy. We've got ridiculous inflation, which was already overinflating stocks in general because they were just printing more money. And now that the stocks have fallen back down a little bit, you get the 401ks affected, and you're dealing with people paying 20% more for their grocery bill and things like that. There was actually, I want to see if I could find this. Here it is right here. This is a pretty good, I'm not sure exactly when this was dated exactly, but this is a comparison between Biden and Trump. When it comes to the inflation, you can see energy 40% versus 0%. Gas actually went down 2% during Trump. It went up around 48%. Now, there is a little bit of, it's a little bit hard to take this stuff extremely seriously, this data, because of the pandemic, which was, once in a century thing. It's going to affect prices both ways, and it is going to affect more inflation. But the bottom line is, they're trying to take this victory lap around the economy and around the stock market. Well, now the stock market is tanking and you're still dealing with the crazy inflation. So this is just the reality. I mean, eggs up basically 50%. You do have airfare up 32%. It went down 14% under Trump. Public transportation went down 8% under Trump. Basically, all of this stagnated in terms of inflation under Trump. So that is pretty huge news. What's going on in the UK and England is just, it's pretty crazy, man. It is unbelievable. Hey guys, our country is bankrupt. The markets are crashing. That's another thing I guess you could say. They're talking about a civil war there. I don't think it's going to happen. Personally, I mean, civil wars are just next level bad. But there is some crazy stuff happening, right, when it comes to England. You could see, hey guys, our country is bankrupt. The markets are crashing, but you can't buy groceries and you'll never be able to home. Americans, my 401k is disappearing. I can't afford groceries. Democrats, but Project 2025 clowns. Hakeem Jeffries. I thought this was a joke. So this dude screenshotted this. This just came out this morning. And you can see MAGA extremist Republicans are planning to implement Project 2025. I had figured this was from like 4 or 5 days ago. No, here it is right here 2 hours ago. You can see it's like a scheduled post. Oh my God. Project 2025, the fear-mongering continues about it. I mean, at this point, yeah, it's like, listen, you're all poor, but guys, what about Project 2025? It's so bad. We know you're all poor. It's okay. It's not a big deal. You're racist. You're poor. Project 2025 is going to enslave you. Rachel Maddow is going to go to a camp. Trump's going to put her there. So this is why we need to vote for Kamala, even though we're all going to be poor. It's okay. Project 2025, Project 2025, Project 2025, Project 2025, Project. January 6th, 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 January 6th. Please, January 6th, save me. Biden here. This was a funny little thing I thought. You can see it's down for the E in Biden. All the big time stocks, Dow futures, NASDAQ futures, S&P futures, down about 5-6%. Welcome back, Diamond Hands. How was the moon? Yeah, people got to go back to work now. Man, it's been a tough drop for sure. But luckily, I just get to make videos, I guess, in air conditioning rather than do that. So I guess I got that going for me. But yeah, guys, this is crazy what's going on throughout the world right now. I'm hopeful we're going to have some, we're going to have more stability once Trump gets in. And remember, back in 2020, at least when it comes to crypto, you had the crazy March crash in 2020, April 2021. I mean, this is literally the exact same thing. March of 2020, the huge crash comes in. In 2024, I guess it's a little bit later, it's August, but you had March of 2020, you had the election, and Biden did win, so maybe it doesn't really affect whether it's Democrat or Republican, but I do think it's going to be more bullish if it's Trump because he's embraced crypto as opposed to the Democrats trying to take away crypto. That's why all of those centralized exchanges are banned in America, and you can really only use a few like Kraken and Coinbase. But you had the huge crash, the COVID crash in March of 2020. The bull market happens 13 months later in April of 2021, the all-time highs. We've got the huge crash, whatever you want to call it, instability throughout the world, in, also the Japan markets. In August of 2024, we might get the all-time highs in the bull market late in 2025, preferably as long as Trump gets in. But either way, I think it'll happen. But that's just something to take into consideration as well. Either way, guys, this Vice President Harris must immediately, without a script, explain her economic policies. She can't do that. Without a script, she can't do that. It's not possible for her. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.